Alright, hi guys, and today we're still going to talk about relationships. So relationships is like relationship of mutual affection between people. So it's definitely different with friends. There's also difference between friendship and relationship, of course. But now I'm going to say that a relationship, there's always going to be different kinds. Today I'm going to talk about like relationships and attachment. So now I know that people who are affectionate with each other during a relationship, it's like a partnership, so they will work with each other to grow. And I have attachment that is explained. So basically in psychology, attachment is like secure, avoidant, and anxious. And in this kind of thing, it always links back to your childhood. So people who are secure, anxious, and avoidant, they always have different ways why they are like that. So basically when people go back to the childhood, if they look back on their childhood, which some people might not know of because it's too long ago or because it's just traumatizing, so it always links back to your childhood and how you were raised and how your parents were there for you and caring for you. So this kind of things makes me want to talk about it because it really affects relationships, and how it's going to, how it affects how you're going to progress and how you're going to go on with the relationship. So basically, secure attachment is that when a person have a sense of autonomy and it's a good sense of identity too. So they have a lot of independence in the way that they want to do things the way they want to do, and they will want to be, on their own and focus on their goals. Because it's this relationship, it's just one of the things that is good, because the fact that people who have a good sense of security and autonomy, they really want to, be believing in themselves. If it's not just high, it's just that like they know who you are, they know who they are. So easily they can know that, okay, I want to help you. So this, in terms of that, relationships like this, it's kind of good because that person has that sense of secure attachment. But for the other person also, if you're in a relationship with that person, then it's also good because you will feel this secure bond with that person, and that the way they have to be firm of themselves, they already know who they are, and they can also help you to grow and as a couple and as someone who are in partnership with that someone. So okay, so that is one of the most important things to take note of. And they can also fulfill their own needs because if they're independent, they can do things on their own. They can take care of themselves. So that is one of the secure attachment that I really want to explain about. And people who are in a relationship with them, they will most likely feel not neglected to neglect that person. That person will not be neglected by the other secure person because they are very healthy in the sense that they are secure in their own relationship. So if you are too secure, also there's the cons part in this part, as in there's the negative part. And people who are too secure and independent is also not good because they also have the free will and a decision to make their own way of living and their own path of living. And this might just mean that they might also be inconsiderate to the needs of their partner, as in that if they want to neglect and forget about other person's needs because they want to be independent on their own, it's really hard to kind of balance it. So in every relationship, there's always going to need to be balance. And for people who are fearful or avoidant, attachment is just like dismissing. So people who are like this, they actually have really just maybe neglectful childhood. So maybe they aren't taken care of, or the caregiver does not take care of them properly, or the parents. And this one is just one of the most sad thing, is that some of them who have this attachment, they actually went through some kind of abuse. It's not all, I'm not saying all, but they have some kind of abuse, like sexual or any kind of abuse in their childhood. So for example, they will come up to you and then suddenly they were like, oh no, I'm not going to come to you, or they'll come up to you again. So it's really hard for these kind of people. So I really hope that people would understand this kind of attachment more, and how you're going to proceed into a relationship with them. So the process is that when you're dating and knowing someone with this very fearful attachment to you, and very dismissing, and then both, because they don't really know that what is healthy love like. So they will come to you and say, okay, I can trust and love this person, but can you do the same? Or can she still do the same? And then your person will just go off and be like, oh no, this is not how love is, because they have a really distorted sense of how love works, because they have been abused or they have been traumatized a lot. So it's really, really hard to go and find, that security and that stable peace of my mind, or in someone else's mind, in themselves. So it's really hard. But once you get to know this person, and you are dating this person or in a relationship with the person, then you already have to know that, oh, how is that person like, how is that personality like, how is their personal experience with abuse, if they want to talk about it. Some people just don't want to talk about it because you're too traumatized. So this one is just one of the things that will help you know that, oh, why is she like this? People can read up, or I'm just making this video to make an awareness. So this would definitely, if you guys know each other a lot already, and know how that person will behave in the relationship, and how the person wants to attach yourself to each other, then it's really important. And this will make the bond stronger if you actually really understand the person and accept the person, and for that person feel the same too. They will definitely feel like, okay, maybe if this is how I'm going to see about my love life, at least then I can trust this person. And yeah, so that's about how you can see your love life with this person. But I know some people who have been really badly traumatized and hurt, they will definitely never want to feel and like it's happening again, like their trauma is happening again. It's not going to happen, but they fear, and that's what they really fear. And then they'll dismiss it when it comes to you, and okay, I can trust you, but then, oh no, maybe I can't trust you, because trust is important, and sometimes their trust get betrayed or taken disadvantage of. So I really want to emphasize that, and it's really important to know that, and it's not necessarily anybody's fault. So it's really important to address this issue between both of you and see if you can find a common ground. And for the cons, the negative part of it is that I know when I said they're dismissing, is because they might have their insecurities in their head, and like I just don't know, maybe she just don't know, or he don't know, like, okay, how am I supposed to act and feel like in this relationship, because my emotions are all over the place, and I don't know how to be secure myself. So that is really, really unhealthy, and I know you want to help the person, but because, like I said, they might dismiss it because they have a distorted view of how love is, and they really need to address it with a professional or with yourself. But importantly for this, I definitely feel like if that person can trust you, if you can understand that person, you can accept the person, then the relationship will work out, hopefully. And yeah, I think that's the most fundamental part of relationship, because if there's no respect, and if you want to keep judging the person, and if you don't understand and accept the person, that it's going to be hard in the long run, and even now it might not be pleasant. So yeah, so for anxious and preoccupied attachment, it makes that person feel like, people who are anxious and preoccupied, they want to keep ruminating and have this worry and overthink about maybe every single thing or something that triggers them. So it's really just very, very hard for the person, because they're like, so preoccupied with something, I'm going to worry, I'm going to obsess, I'm going to go around and around in my head, and it's just negative thoughts. So it doesn't help the person with the self-esteem, it doesn't help with the identity, and it will ruin that person. So, but if that person really is capable of like normal social skills and functioning, and they want to connect with you, you got to be really understanding of the person, because everybody have struggles, everybody hurts. So it's really important to know that this kind of person and their attachment exists, and if they really want to like you in that way of relationship and partnership, then it's really important to go and find ourselves, and then we can find another person who is a match for us. Yeah. So if the person who is being anxious in the relationship, and if they try to work on themselves in the issue, like maybe sort it out, write down on a journal and say like, okay, I need to change my mindset, I need to change how I'm going to see and my thoughts, I'm going to see everything. If I'm going to keep thinking negatively, I might be a negative person myself, but if I want to be positive, I think with positive thoughts, I might also be a positive person. But there's always going to be a balance. Just because you're positive and just because you're completely negative, it's not good, because sometimes you need to see both sides, and then you need to kind of see like, okay, what is actually the reality here, how am I supposed to see myself, I'm going to improve on. Because if you're completely positive all the time, you won't have anything to improve on, and that personally, if you want to improve on something, the person would. But if not, they just be like that because they don't want to change themselves, because they're too comfortable. So if the partner can get hold of their negative thoughts and with someone else in the relationship, then it would be very easy to come and work together as a couple or anything, and to determine how their future would work. And the pros is that sometimes if people obsess and worry about something, if they get it in control and in balance, they definitely want to also focus on the relationship with you. As in, they might obsess and worry like, oh my god, how am I supposed to make this work? So they probably would want to be determined to make it work in the future, and they would probably be very focused on how to make it work, and that is about it. So the cons is that it might be a bit complicated if it's just too much, like forcing. Like some things have to happen naturally and everything takes time, but it's fine, because as a partner with each other, you really have to work together. So for the cons, I just feel like if the people who are constantly ruminating and obsessing and having negative thoughts, it's really hard to kind of work the relationship out, because if people do not address the issue with themselves and they want to go into a relationship, it's going to bleed on someone, and it's not going to come and resolve anything. So it's going to be really hard, and it's just really unhealthy mindset of thinking and attachment, and eventually it's just going to be one of the most disastrous thing. Because if you want a relationship, you have to actually be ready. I know people who have gone through trauma, I know people who have gone through bad experiences, but they want to try, and that's okay. But I just want people to know that it's not cool to like bleed on someone just because you haven't healed. And I know people want to rush inside one and to choose, and I cannot judge people for that, because we all want to be needing someone. But for that case, I feel like if you think you're still hurt every day and haunted by something, I don't think you should ever want to go into a relationship, because you will bleed on someone else, and it would be really hard for the person to recover. And I know you're suffering, but everybody has feelings. So to be with that someone and to bleed on someone, it's just really hard unless you two can work together and be stable. But if anything happens, then I just hope everything will work out and be fine. And everything actually takes time, and if it's meant to be, it will be. And yeah, so basically, relationship, I think it's more like when you are in love with that someone. Basically, it's needs, needs. So I hope that people can address it, because everybody needs something in a relationship. But it just depends on also how compatible you are now and in the long run, and never want to hurt each other, because that's the worst thing that can ever happen. Relationship is supposed to make you feel like secure and happy, and if you're in a toxic relationship, please just leave immediately. And it takes a long time to heal from one, you can trust me on that. But it doesn't have to cloud someone from saying that, okay, there's gonna be a lot of amazing people I will meet, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't that nice, but this is a relationship. This is not like a normal friendship. Like you choose each other to be together. So yeah, so always in a relationship you need to be happy, you need to feel happy, and your mind is to be happy, because ultimately when you're with someone, with a person, with your own partner, then you really need to be secure and just be not having any go home and feel pain. No, it's not. I mean, people fight, people have arguments, but have a bit of compromise and have a middle ground, and always want to accept that it will happen. But if you can settle it peacefully with respect, it will never be an issue. And yeah, so all I want to say is that you can actually grow with someone. It's not impossible. You just need to find the right person and the right timing. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say today. So I hope you guys can learn something, and always take care.